Pete the Cat, Crayons Rock by Kimberly and James Dean. And check out these cool crayons. Got rockin' red, groovy green, and my favorite, deep purple. Ooh, look at all those cool crayons. And look at what Pete's drawn with the crayons. Oh, they're his friends. Ooh, and there's another crayon, Orange Tabby. Oh, that's like a cat. And Cool Cat Blue, and Groovy Green, and Boogie Brown, and all sorts of cool colors. So let's read Crayons Rock. Pete loves his big box of groovy crayons. He loves to draw things like cars, trucks, flowers, and trees. And most of all, the big blue sea. From rockin' red to cool cat blue, with a box of crayons, there's nothing Pete can't do. One day, Pete decided to draw something new. His friends! Oh, how nice. So using lots of color is so much fun. Pete wanted to use every one. He scribbled and drew a great big smile. His drawings were groovy and rockin' with style. Who's the first one he drew? Yep, it's Toad. Using, oh, there's another picture of that. Because crayons rock. Pete was proud of the pictures he drew. He hoped his friends would dig 'em too. Pete showed Grumpy Toad first. Grumpy Toad said, "This doesn't look right. Those colors are way too bright." Pete thought, "Hey, no sweat. That's all right. The next one will be Dynamite." Who's the next one he's going to show? Let's see. Oh, Gus. Pete showed Gus his picture too. Gus asked, "Who's this supposed to be? It doesn't look like me." That happens when I draw things oftentimes. But Pete thought, "Hey, no sweat. That's all right. The next one will be just right." And who do you think the next one he's going to show is? Oh, that's just going to be Callie's. Pete finally showed Callie her picture. Callie said, "This one is fine, but it feels like something's missing from mine." Pete said, "What a mess. Bummer, I guess. My drawings aren't the best." Pete started to frown and he put his crayons down. Oh, poor Pete. In art class, the teacher asked, "Pete, what are you going to make?" "I don't know. I'm afraid of making a mistake." "But Pete, in art, there aren't any mistakes. It's your creativity." I digress. And Pete looked around. Gus drew the coolest superheroes. Callie's flowers were awesome out of sight. Grumpy's motorcycle was just right. But Pete's heart sank. His paper was blank. The gang looked at Pete and said, "No sweat, it's all right. It doesn't have to be just right. Your art is cool because it's you. Your art is so unique. Grab your groovy box of crayons and show us your technique." Do you think that made Pete feel better? Mm-hmm. The teacher agreed art should be fun. Art is for everyone. From Rockin' Red to Cool Cat Blue, with a box of crayons, there's nothing you can't do. So Pete smiled. There are no rules. It's no big deal. Art is about how it makes you feel. Pete loved his cool art. That's one thing Pete knew. Suddenly, Pete knew exactly what to do. He tried again, and instead of drawing them one by one, Pete drew the whole gang, just having fun. And his friend said, "Wow, way to go, Pete. That's a rockin' masterpiece." Grumpy Toad, Gus, and Callie agreed. Pete's picture was off the charts. See, that's the groovy thing about art. Ooh, that's a cool picture. The best art comes from the heart. Because crayons rock. And look, ooh, there's a pretty heart. And there's Callie's picture. Very cool. And that is a book, Pete the Cat, Crayons Rock. Hope you enjoyed.